What is up, Steelers fans? And we are going behind enemy lines. Week 4. I've been looking forward to this one for multiple reasons, not just because the team's playing in Dublin, Ireland, not because they're playing at 9:30 in the morning, but because I get to have a good friend of mine, David Stefano, on, who covers the Vikings for Fans First Sports Network. David, what's up?
Hey there, buddy. It's a good week.
Yeah.
And we get to go to Dublin and match up. Do you know that Dublin was founded by the Vikings back in 841? And that is something special. And eventually they lost to the Irish down the road, but there was a whole bunch of intermingling. So there's a lot of tie-ins to both teams.
Absolutely. The Rooney name is a big one in Ireland. Obviously, Dan Rooney, rest in peace. He was the ambassador for Ireland for many years under the Barack Obama administration. But this is an interesting game on a lot of fronts, and I'm curious to get the other side of the docket here. J.J. McCarthy, as of this being recorded, is not going to play, yes?
That is correct. He is still recovering from his high ankle sprain.
So Carson Wentz was the quarterback as the Bengals fell flat and the Vikings completely blew their doors off last week. But let's talk about Carson Wentz. What did you see about Carson Wentz that gives you optimism heading into this contest in week 4?
He didn't shoot himself in the foot.
Well,
like Carson Wentz tends to do. He played adequate football. Now, we got a bunch of people on my side of the house that, hey, we need to play Carson Wentz, ride the hot hand as long as he keeps winning. Well, we want a little bit better than what we got from Carson Wentz, but he is the typical definition of, at least for me, a backup quarterback. He's around 500 in his win-loss record. He can go in there and win you a few games. Can he improve? Kevin O'Connell's proved that with all sorts of veterans. So we'll see what happens in the long run, but for Sunday, I have full faith in Carson Wentz going out there and executing.
Is Kevin O'Connell a quarterback whisperer? Is it safe to say like he has done some pretty crazy things with some quarterbacks that most felt were done and they kind of resurrected their career? What does he do that makes him such an impactful voice to these quarterbacks?
I think it was all of comes from how he was treated when he was drafted. I think it was the 5th round by the Patriots, and worked with Tom Brady and under Bill Belichick and all that, and then discarded, and nothing ever happened of his career. He had some deficiencies, but he vowed that he would treat quarterbacks better. And he's got a famous saying that the NFL gives up on quarterbacks before they should, something to this effect, and that he does not want to do that. So he goes in and he helps them be able to read and process better, i.e. think of Daniel Jones in Indianapolis. And Daniel Jones is credited him for opening his eyes on a lot of stuff in just the 2 months he was with us last year at the end of the season. I think it's an approach that he takes that makes the difference in QB play.
Yeah. Carson Wentz he's proven that he's capable, but like you said, he has those games where you're like, oh my gosh, what is this guy? When he came into the league with Philadelphia, he was an MVP candidate until he blew his knee out. And then since then, it's just been a very rocky start, and he's bounced around the league. But he finds his way back into the lineup. And let's talk about the offense and the weaponry. We know Justin Jefferson, but they're also without some key pieces in week 4. What exactly has been the best mode of transportation offensively for the Vikings so far? We'll talk at least last game. It's tough to go back to J.J. McCarthy. The offense is going to look different with a different quarterback. But is it just Justin Jefferson, or are they kind of spreading the love around?
Oh, no, they're spreading the love around. The first touchdown last week went to Josh Oliver, our tight end, too. And there was a touchdown to T.J. Hawkinson. He's back on track. And along with Justin Jefferson, who had another record-setting game for him. It was nothing, big, not over 100 yards type stuff, but he keeps accumulating records, and he went on that as well. But it's the running game. We're running the ball more. We have a running back that can run the ball with authority in Jordan Mason, who we acquired from the San Francisco 49ers last year. And it has been a huge upgrade. That on top of upgrading our offensive line and getting Christian Darrisaw back last week has made a world of difference.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Like, the Steelers are struggling against the run. Defensively, they have been, I don't know, a sieve comes to mind when it comes to running game. But recently against New England, what it was is they were just, they would, I think going into last week, I know this for a fact, they had the most negative run plays, meaning defensively, in the NFL, yet they were one of the worst run defenses in the league. Think about that. That's a boom or bust. That's what the Steelers have been. We're going to stop you for no gain, -2, and then we give up a 40-yard run, a 20-yard run, a 10-yard run. You know what I'm talking about, those explosive runs of 10 yards or more. That's going to be a struggle. The Steelers definitely are a team that wants to play a certain style on defense, and unfortunately, they're setting themselves up for it, which is we're going to stop you early, put you in obvious passing situations, and then get after the quarterback. The problem is their third down defense has been atrocious, especially on 3rd and long. So let me ask you this. What has the pass protection been like for Minnesota? Because the Steelers, when they have had success, it's been because they've gotten to the quarterback, whether it's Nick Herbig or TJ Watt. What's the pass pro been like for Minnesota?
Been okay up to the point, but we've had a lot of injuries, like you've said.
Right.
Christian Darrisaw went against Trey Hendrickson last week. Trey Hendrickson led the league in pressures. Darrisaw held him to 0, none.
Nice.
In his time in there. Hendrickson got 2 on the day, but it was when the fourth quarter, we'd already put in the second and third stringers, and it was basically preseason game mode for us. It's been good. We have the right side's been decent. We're giving quarterbacks time to throw. Now, whether they choose that or not is a different story.
Yeah.
And this week, we're out one starter on the offensive line, and that's our rookie Donovan Jackson at left tackle. Blake Brandel will be starting at left tackle. He did all last season. Blake Brandel did fine when Christian Darrisaw was in there. Once Christian Darrisaw got injured, Blake failed to live up to what he did in the first half of the season. But he's going to be fine tomorrow. I'm not worried about it. Ryan Kelly will be back from his concussion. We should be fine when it comes to pass protection. Carson Wentz will have plenty of time to throw the ball if he needs it.
All right. Well, if that's left tackle that's going to be a backup, he's going to have to go against Nick Herbig primarily, who, if anyone watches the film of Pittsburgh, he has been their most effective pass rusher. And yes, that includes TJ Watt this season. He has a tremendous get off. He is a speed rusher. He's a demon. He's a menace. So we'll have to keep an eye on that matchup. Now let's flip the script and talk about this Brian Flores defense. Of course, everyone loves to talk about Brian Flores. The Steelers know him well because he spent a season with them when he was in his the legality of the lawsuit, which is still ongoing, mind you. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, he gets a chance with the Minnesota Vikings and has thrived there. This is the matchup that scares Steeler fans to death. It's the way he disguises things. It's the way that he has that pre-snap look, and then right before the ball is snapped, it's a switch. The Steelers are going to have to give Aaron Rodgers some major leeway to change plays and protections to the line of scrimmage. But what exactly outside of the disguising of Flores are they doing so well on defense?
This season, we're getting pass pressure from the inside.
Okay.
Our defensive line our front seven, has absolutely rocked. The interior's gone, whether it be Hargrave or Allen, Javon Hargrave, Jordan Allen, or Jonathan Allen, or the backup guys, Levi Drake Rodriguez, Jalen Redmond, whomever, they're getting pressure, which, of course, allows our edges, and we'll count 3 as starters, being Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Dallas Turner. They're having field days. With that is why we're causing so much problems and headaches, especially last week to Jake Browning. We now have Harrison Hitman Smith back because he was dealing with illness the whole first part of the season. He's back. The communication on that end helps because he messes with everything and he directs everybody. He does all sorts of stuff. Blake Cashman, who's out as well, our star middle linebacker, he also deals with the communication problem, and he will remain out because he's on the IR. But getting Hitman back made a world of difference last week against Cincinnati. Jake Browning couldn't deal with all the movement and the bailing, coming forward, showing 10 guys on the line and then who's bailing out, who's not. All the misdirection stuff that Flores puts at him. But there is one quarterback that generally knows how to deal with that.
Do you know him well? I'm just curious.
I do know him well. And he plays for your team. And what's funny is Aaron Rodgers and Harrison Smith are, I think, friends. It's quite an amicable relationship. And every game they talk about, I saw you did that, or whatever it is, or I fooled you.
Yeah.
and it's been a game, and for Steelers fans to get hyped up about, know that Aaron Rodgers is going to be ready and hyped up to play Harrison Smith, guaranteed. So that gives you a little bit glimmer of hope. Now, will he have the time to throw the ball? We'll see.
Well, you make it sound like the Steelers are getting ready to play the 1985 Bears, but that's neither here nor there. You sound like Mike Tomlin, actually. That's what he does every Tuesday during his press conference. Let me go back to the offense, and then I'm going to go to the defense, and I want to ask you, if you were the Steelers and you're preparing a plan, how are you attacking this team? So let's start with the Steelers defense against the Minnesota Vikings offense. If you're devising a plan to slow them down, what has been successful that defenses have done this year against the Minnesota front?
You've got to take, for the wide receivers, for the receivers, period, you've got to jam them at the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
If they get free releases, you're done.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. Even with Justin Jefferson double or triple teamed, you're going to be done. We get Jordan Addison back this week, too.
That's right.
Which is going to be sweet. You're done. You got to jam the receivers. As for the offensive line, you're going to have to attack the weaknesses, which is generally the guards, not that they're really weak. Even with Blake Brandel at left guard this week, it is better to do that or overwhelm them. That's helped sometimes when they've had left a free rusher to come in. It's good. That's the only thing I can think of how you can defeat the offense. Either that or get into Carson Wentz's head, which is a possibility.
It is a possibility. Now, what about on the defensive side? The Steelers' offense, what would be the best course of action to try and move the ball, put up points? The Steelers do have one of the top red zone offenses through 3 weeks. They're well over 80% success rate in terms of conversion to touchdowns. But the problem's been getting there. So what is the way that the Steelers would be able to maneuver their way against this Minnesota defense?
I'll stay out of third and long.
Yeah.
And stay ahead on the points. If you can go down there, the first drive generally is a feel-out sort of deal by Brian Flores. And if you can stay ahead, he tends to play a little less conservative, or a little bit more conservative, I should say. If the Vikings get the lead, you're done for, because everybody's going to be pinning their ears back and going.
Yeah. Now, I do want to say one more thing before we call it a show, and I give you an opportunity to plug all your stuff. This has been a weird game in terms of the odds. Even 2 weeks ago, the Steelers were actually favored in this contest, but that is completely flipped. And now we see that the Vikings are giving the Steelers 2.5 points with a total of a balmy 40.5. I don't need a score prediction from you, David. It's way too early in the week. But how do you feel this game goes going over in Dublin? Because I feel like with these international games, you just kind of have to throw a lot of things into the wind and see what happens. What's your take?
Well, our take is I think we come in better prepared travel-wise, and we've already sent the whole gang of logistics types already over there. They're there.
Yeah.
And The players will leave either Wednesday, most likely, I think it's Thursday night, land Friday morning. They'll have a practice Friday afternoon. They're going to try to stay as close to Central Time as possible. And we have success overseas. We were undefeated in the history of the Minnesota Vikings playing overseas games. And we even beat you guys a few years ago.
2013. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's the key? They're going to come out and play. It's that simple. They know it's a real game. They know it's a neutral stadium.
Yeah. That's some Brian Davis and Dave Schofield breakdown there. They're going to come out and play. That's like when Dave would always say, like, Dave, what's the key to victory? You got to play hard. Well, thanks, Dave. That's some great analysis.
More points than the other team. It's that simple. It's as long as Wentz doesn't shoot himself in the foot, we should have a good day.
I think the Steelers' lone shot is not only Aaron Rodgers using his vast knowledge of pre-snap recognition, but also they got to get to Carson Wentz early and often. If they get him to turn it over a couple times, he starts thinking, he starts double clutching, and then the pass rush gets home. That's probably their best chance to do it. But David, I do appreciate your time. I'm going to give you an opportunity to plug not just your social media stuff, but also Vikings First and Skol podcast, which is a part of Fans First Sports Network. Go ahead and do that now.
Hey, you can find us at Vikings First and Skol, where we do all things Minnesota Vikings. You can find us on YouTube, find us Fans First Sports Network, Pro Football Insiders,
yes,
the
sir.
whole works. You can find us there. We have all our podcasts go out usually about once a day-ish, and we'd love to have you. And when we do crossovers, we call the show Scoling with Friends. And why friends? Because we have no enemies in this business.
Yeah.
Minus maybe one, but anyway. You wear the wrong colors.
What's that?
You guys wear the wrong colors. It's not you.
I get it. Well, David, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Enjoy the game early Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm sure we'll be in touch. Take it easy, man.
Hash browns and first downs, baby.
Love it.